Hello and welcome to the Networking Partner Spotlight. I'm Jimmy Curtin, your host. I am CEO and founder of Next Level Sales Performance. We help companies accelerate their sales revenue and move to the next level. So I'm very happy today to introduce my guest. Emily Ackerman is with Carr, Riggs, and Ingram. So Emily, if you'd like to take it from here and talk a little bit about yourself, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. So again, my name's Emily Ackerman. We're with Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, and I'm just going to call it CRI. It's a mouthful. And I spearhead their business development. And so we're a full-service accounting firm. We're the 21st largest one in the country, and we're located here in Dallas. I focus on the North Texas area, so Dallas, Fort Worth, and surrounding areas. But we do everything that every big accounting firm does. If you need tax work done, audit work, bookkeeping, payroll, you name it. There really is no work that we can't do from an accounting perspective. And so even if you're starting up a business or you're ready to sell it, there really is no revenue that we look for. I mean, everyone's got different accounting needs. And so it's all just a matter of me being the quarterback and the matchmaker for the firm. And I have a partner for you if you personally are a CFO that likes to go hunting and fishing, and I've got another one for you too if you're into yoga and you are kind of granola crunchy vegan. It's all a relationship. And so the more I get to know you and what you need for your business in regards to accounting, I'll put you with the right person.
That's great. That's great. So tell me, in business, how do you define integrity?
So for me, integrity, everyone's kind of got the same approach to it. It's doing the right thing and being truthful and honest. But integrity for me in a sales type of role is walking away from something even though you know you need to make a buck too. There are a lot of people in my role that will just have that hunt and skin mentality and take on a new client even though it's not the right thing for them or their services. And I'm just not that way. I'd rather do right by the client and just flat out say, hey, I think we might be too expensive for you, or you might just be better off using a smaller firm. I mean, you don't have that many complications. You don't need that much. You don't have that much meat to really deal with. I think there's a lot of people that do give business development people or sales people a bad rep because they're just so quick to take a dollar, even though it's not the right thing to do.
Great answer. That's very true. So tell me about the value proposition that your company actually offers.
So there's a bunch of me out there, and there's a bunch of accounting firms out there, and they're all going to tell you the exact same thing. They want high net worth individuals. They want to deal with healthcare, real estate. It's all the same. Where I think we bring a different value proposition is the actual true years of expertise. We were formerly two other firms here in town, one being called Arbach, Albert & Gold, but the other one was called Vogel & Company. They were around for over 70 years. That's
Wow.
a long time. And those are partners that have been literally next to us is the partner in charge. His name is Doug. He's been with the firm for over 40 years. We've got other partners that have been around for that long too. I mean, to really say we have true experts is an understatement. And I think another thing that really sets us apart, as I kind of said in the beginning, is we really are sort of that sweet spot where it's a Goldilocks CPA firm. We're not too big and we're not too small. You can literally be a startup business with absolutely no revenue. We can work with you. You could be $1 billion. We can work with you. And you're important. Doesn't matter if you're a $5 million manufacturing plant. That's important. Doesn't matter if you're a $500 million company. You're treated the same and you're working directly with the partner. And I think a lot of firms don't necessarily have that mindset. They'll walk away from things if they're too small, or they won't treat them equally because they're just not big enough. And I think that's just how we are a little bit different and what brings value to any kind of business here in North Texas.
Great. Good answer. So what you mentioned sweet spot. So what do you think the sweet spot is for CRI?
My go-to answer is a client that pays bills on time. The other,
That's great.
but the best answer, I think we can handle you if you're a startup business, but you really want a big firm, and you call on any big firm like ours when you really need to be taken to the next level, when you even need some hand holding, you really need strategy and guidance. The best answer, and to narrow it down as best as I can, is to really have a CFO or a controller in place when they want to go to the next level. You can be 5 million, 10 million. Every company's different, but I think that's really the sweet spot when you really want to go to the next level. I would say though, make 10 million and up is what we see the most of.
Okay, great. So
pay on time.
Yeah, there you go. That pays on time. That's great. So what's your favorite business tool to use when you're prospecting?
Easy, LinkedIn.
Okay.
My favorite. It's not like other social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram. It's an unawkward networking tool. It's for business professionals. There's over 600 million people that use LinkedIn, and if I remember correctly, about 60,000 or more C-suite decision makers. If you can really even just when you message or connect with someone on LinkedIn, provide them value, it's a lot easier to get in the door. It's not as soliciting. It's where all of us in business, B2B or B2C, are and should be. And it's a great way to also provide a lot of thought leadership without having to necessarily have awkward conversations in person.
Right. Right. Very true. So we all know that one of the key things to sales or business development is staying top of the mind when it comes to awareness with your clients and your prospects. So what's one of your favorite methods or tools to do that?
Besides, pre-COVID and post-COVID, I think my main thing is it's better to be busy than bored. I've always had that mentality, and I always try to look and feel online like I'm in a million different places at once. And I think my approach to it is a little different than a lot of people, where I wake up around 5:30 every morning, and I get home every day between 8:30 and 9 p.m. when we were able to actually go to events. And it's a numbers thing. And I look at sales just like dating. I have to go on a bunch of first dates. And I go on some very good first dates. Not all of them are great. It's just like dating. And if we're a good fit and I want to go on another date with you, you'll be hearing from me. And it takes two to tango. And I just treat sales like dating. And after a few months, if you and I are just still hitting it off, oh, you bet your bottom dollar I want to be exclusive with you and I want to go steady. And I think my approach is just staying top of mind is being different than other people in my role. There's a bunch of CPA firms that have other business development people, and everyone's great. I know most of them. And I just think I'm genuinely me. I'm not your typical Dallas girl. I'm not your fit for everybody. Not everyone loves me, but for those who I really just jive with, I really do take care of them. And I'm everywhere. That's my approach.
That's true. That's great. So when it comes to sales, how do you know when it's time to actually close the sale?
That's a very good question. I think when I know to close the sale, obviously you need to provide that proposal, but it's a lot easier to ask for the sale when you believe in what you're actually selling. And I always struggled with that part of the sales process. And I think in previous roles of my career, I came from CBS and media sales, and I had a hard time always asking for the dollar, always, because it was a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and it's hard to ask for that when you don't actually think you're providing any value. Whereas with what we do, if you are talking to us, we're truly providing business value, and it's usually in a time-sensitive manner. And I have no fear asking for the dollar if you're telling me, hey, you have a July 31st deadline and it's June 10th. Are you ready to go? And when you really do a thorough needs analysis with a client and you actually put a quote out there, I have no problem after a week asking for what the next steps are, because if you're telling me what you're telling me, then on delay, we gotta go. But I always have struggled with asking for the close. And I think it's different when you work for a company where you really do think you're changing and making a difference. And yeah.
Sounds like you're providing value. So that's always great.
Yes. And with my previous company too, it was the exact same way. it's no silver bullet to fixing every problem, but you are a part of the solution.
Right. Great. Last question. So what's your best advice when it comes to closing more business?
My advice is more just a mantra I tell myself when I walk into a room. And again, not everyone takes my approach, but if you are calling on a CPA firm, you need me more than I need you. And so I am all for the entrepreneurial spirit, but you're a business owner, a CFO, controller, you name it. You need help. And that's the best advice I can give is just don't necessarily walk in with that kind of attitude. But I always tell myself that when they start going dark. And there's a line that I love using when someone does go dark, and you can take it. And I used to say this when someone dumped me before in my dating life. I used to say, well, your relationship status may change, my cell number won't. And you'll need me at some point. Call me when you're ready. And
that's great.
It's just a mindset. And I don't know, you have to fake it till you make it. If you walk into any kind of situation being all nervous and clammy, that never works. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given is fake it till you make it. And walk in with confidence.
There you go. That's exactly right. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate your doing the interview with me today. And I
of course
look forward to us doing business down the road.
There's no better sales guy than you, Mr. Curtin. Miss you. You're the best.
Thank you so much.